So by now you probably have already received your mystery box and you already discovered what was inside the latest mystery box from Scent Club. And I'm a little late getting this video out there, but I'm going to go over and reveal all of the fragrances that we featured in our Scent Club mystery box kit, mystery box number 10, that launched or dropped a few weekends ago. I apologize for being late on this because the weekend of the reveal video that I normally do on a mystery box was the weekend of ScentFest SF. And so I'm like a week behind in revealing the fragrances. So if you ordered a mystery box number 10 recently, add a comment and let me know what fragrances were your favorites, which ones you didn't like, and all that good stuff. So add it into the comment section. And I'm also going to shoot a separate video about ScentFest SF experience right after this. So I'll air them back to back. And also, there's a video already shot with Sarah Baker and Angelo's Creations Olfactives founder, Angelos. So we're talking about the overall ScentFest SF experience. So stay tuned for that video as well. But today it's all about the mystery box, the latest mystery box. The reason we launched this like a week before ScentFest SF is because this was supposed to be dropped in April. And while we had coordinated samples, I hadn't fully dedicated my time to curate a box that was going to be, something that people would actually look into getting, because we had some fragrances that were coordinated and shipped. Some there were difficulties with receiving the product. So, and then the ones that were already received that were supposed to be featured in mystery box were anxious for us to launch or drop the mystery box. And I didn't want to drop a mystery box with just 3 samples in it. So I had to focus on ScentFest SF and then focus on this. But in the end, we ended up with 14 awesome samples from 14 different brands and 14 different fragrances. And I think we did a pretty good job. I think some of you prefer less samples than more samples. So I think maybe this was perfectly curated for some of you that don't like as many samples. I do have to say, I am coordinating a ScentFest SF mystery box. So I'm hoping it'll be around 20. So that actually I'm starting to curate, and that will drop within the next couple of months. But let's go over the fragrances in the latest mystery box. So anyway, some of you also already told me you've already ordered some of the fragrances that were featured in the mystery box after you smell the samples. So that's also awesome. But in no specific order, we're talking about Crème Ébène from the house of Parfums de Nicolaï, or Nicolaï Perfumer Creator. Now, the brand was at our show as well. I did mention there were 4 of these brands, participating at our show. So if you weren't able to get a mystery box, maybe you were at ScentFest and you discovered this fragrance. They brought a nicely curated collection of fragrances, including their latest Fig Tea Intense, which Fig Tea happens to be the most popular in the USA, apparently, from the brand. But Crème Ébène, to me, is kind of a slightly sweet, ambery, suede leather with lots of woods and spices. And now they don't mention leather. To me, it's leathery. I don't know if you guys get that from this, but I think it's a combination of the saffron in here and all the spices. And so they have done a nice job. It's very spicy, kind of on the dry side, a bit suede leather-like, slightly sweet, because they also have vanilla and dates in here to give it a slight gourmand edge, but I wouldn't call this a gourmand fragrance. In the end, it's woods, leather, spices, and sweet fruitiness. And if you consider dates to be fruity, I personally don't think they're super fruity. There's an ambery texture about it for me, with a sweetness and a slight fruitiness. I love dates, by the way. They're some of my favorites, especially dipped into peanut butter. That is such a great treat. So yeah, that's what you get with the Crème Ébène. That is the first fragrance. No specific order, by the way. So you probably opened up the mystery box and you found stuff like this. You also got a card about ScentFest, got a little ad about one of the fragrances, and then the samples were in there like that. So also, I think our fulfillment team, we had a bit of a challenge getting these done by the fulfillment team. I think we set out to do less samples. We got smaller boxes, and then eventually we ended up with more samples, and they had a bit of a challenge filling the boxes because we wait to order the box to the excuse me, the quantity of samples we have. So I thought initially we were going to just end up with 10 or 12. We ended up with 14. So you guys got more samples. Let's move on to the next fragrance. This is from the house of Oriza Legrand. This is A la Imperial. So this is one of 5 new extracts that the brand has launched. Super awesome scent, by the way. I visited their store while I was in Paris in April, and I coordinated Oriza Legrand to feature this in our kit. It's awesome, by the way. I absolutely love this extract. And it's tobacco, well, I think it's tobacco leaves, but there is smoky edge here. I think they add a smoke note. There's cade. There's a lot of ambery notes. There's leather. It's an awesome, very masculine, ambery take on tobacco. Super, super cool. This stuff is amazing, guys. If you haven't tried this sample yet, please do. I'm a big fan of the house. Really, really love the house. Maybe I'll do a deep dive on their fragrances soon. Let me know if you guys want that. But for me, this was definitely one of the highlights in the mix of samples. It's super intense. It's an extract. It's a parfum concentration. Plus it's tobacco. It's got that tobacco leafiness, that kind of musty smell that tobacco leaves has. And then they've added the smoke in there to give it that smoky edge, but it's quite ambery and a bit leathery as well. So that is A la Imperial from the house of Oriza Legrand. By the way, these have not launched in the States yet, so it's not easy to get these fragrances because these are brand new launch extracts. So they've launched 5 new extracts, and I was able to get my favorite in the mystery box. It's a great scent, so I hope you guys ended up liking that one. Now we go to a Korean house. I discovered this Korean house in Notes Shanghai last year at Shanghai in Japan, and really kind of enjoyed their minimalistic, take on fragrances. This is Hanji. This is a fragrance that was recently in the mystery box, the latest mystery box. And they went all out with the sample presentation, by the way, if you guys caught that. This is a minimalistic fragrance. It's clean, it's soft, but it's got depth. It's just kind of a skin scent. So it's very musky. There's earthy notes, slight fruitiness, leather and amber and resins. But it wears very minimalistically, and that's what I like about it. Even though they're using these deeper notes, it doesn't come off that heavy. Like compared to A la Imperial with Hanji, they're night and day different. Even though they are using somewhat similar notes because, the saffron and the olibanum and the amber, those are all pretty intense notes, but they've created a fragrance that's minimalistic. So if you're into skin scents, you will enjoy Hanji. I believe it's paper. It's Korean paper. I have to double check on that. I think that's why they had featured that little paper in the sample tray. But super awesome house, by the way. You guys have to try it. And they came to our show. I'm so grateful we were able to get them to come. If you weren't at ScentFest SF, we had this room full of many Asian brands there, among a few others from the USA. And so same room that Zoologist Perfumes was in, the Print Parfum, the Siam 1928, and all of the Korean brands like Mimicri, Bien Bien, Nahez, I think I'm pronouncing that wrong, and Unvanish. There might be one more I'm forgetting. I apologize. But yeah, Hanji is a great minimalistic fragrance. Try it. I think it smells super awesome. Now let's talk about the next fragrance, the next sample in the kit. It's Patchouli in Love. Super intense patchouli. As I was mentioning in the reveal video, not the reveal video, the first announcement video, this fragrance reminds me like a cross between Psychedelic from Patchouli, and Gozo by Psychedelic from Javoy, and Gozo by Jeroboam. So to me, they're both patchouli focused, but Gozo smells quite different than Psychedelic does. Psychedelic is the more ambery, chocolatey. So this to me has characteristics of Javoy Psychedelic with its chocolatey, chocolate cakey patchouli, and also the touches that are in Gozo as well. So this is Federico Cantelli's Patchouli in Love. So there's a lot of amber notes here. There's spices, like warm spices like cinnamon. There's mandarin orange. There's clary sage, iris, and of course loads of patchouli. So in the end, it does have that chocolate cake effect, which Psychedelic has, but it's also very, very much reminding me of Gozo. Let me know what your thoughts are on Patchouli in Love. Super intense fragrance, by the way. And I always mention how patchouli in fragrances is so intense, and it has great lingering power, great longevity. So it's a great scent. So if you guys have been missing content from me, I will probably be getting back on track after the 10th of July. I've just been hosting some visitors from, international visitors from, that participated in ScentFest. So I think by then it will be over, and then I can start producing content for you guys. We have another Scent Club kit launching soon with 3 awesome fragrances. Stay tuned for that. And of course, as I said, we also are putting together a ScentFest SF mystery box. So my target is 20 samples. So stay tuned for that. If you miss ScentFest SF, you will be able to take advantage of getting or picking up a mystery box featuring samples from some of the brands that participated. So let's move on to Noème's Bleu de Bleu right here. As I was saying about this one, it's fruity, but not in the fruits that I'm smelling. I mean, not in the fruits that are posted that are supposed to be in here. So it's kind of like, it reminds me of green apples. Juicy, crisp green apples. But according to the notes breakdown, there's guava and raspberry. There's grapefruit, ginger, and rose. I think it's the rose that's kind of tricking my nose, reminding me of that kind of wet, juicy, drippy apple. And aren't apples kind of, I don't know, if you look at the rose plant and the buds and some apples, if you're picking it off the tree, there's some similarities. Aren't they kind of similar and somehow related? Which is kind of strange. I think that's what's giving me that kind of a connection here. But there's also frankincense here, vetiver, there's caramel, lots of citruses along with ginger. So it's quite fresh. It's called Bleu de Bleu, but is it a blue fragrance? It's got blue juice. Let me know if you fell in love with this one. Add a comment below. They were not at the show, but this next brand was at our show. This is Moonlight in Chiangmai by Parfums Dusita. I've gone through quite a bit of this fragrance. This is my second bottle. I absolutely love it. And I've grown to enjoy it even further throughout the years. I think this launched during the pandemic. And I've always mentioned that it reminds me that there's something like ambroxan in there, and there isn't any. It's just the way the fragrance is composed. It's got teak wood. But Parfums Dusita came on board with Quintessence at ScentFest. So they brought 8 brands. They had this nice big booth of 8 different brands connected together as they are a distributor. And I was so happy that she came. But this is so good. This is super sexy. It's a great woody, spicy kind of citrusy take on a fragrance. And it'll smell great in the heat, I think. Super awesome smelling. But yuzu, nutmeg, teak wood, benzoin, jasmine. There's some vetiver in here as well. It's a great scent. I think it leans a slight bit masculine as well compared to some of her fragrances. I think this fragrance was created with men in mind. So if you haven't tried this, try it. I highly recommend that one. And I'm glad to have it here because it's an older release. And sometimes with mystery boxes, I try and focus on the latest releases, which a lot of these are. But I kind of also want to highlight some forgotten fragrances that need to be, revisited. So that is Moonlight and Chiangmai from the house of Parfums Dusita. Now, then we've got Que Tal from the house of Plume Impression. And this is one that I hadn't paid attention to. The brand wanted to highlight it. It's a Jordi Fernandez creation. Seems to be quite ambery, woody, and musky. But it gives me a lot of Middle Eastern fragrance vibes. Super spicy, very intense. Lots of resins and woods here, earthy woods. If you like that whole Middle Eastern style of fragrance, this is going to satisfy. It's quite powdery as well. Very woody, if I haven't mentioned that. But to me, it's deep and rich, but there's kind of a simplicity about it that gives you room to wear it easily rather than trying to super focus on it and thinking, okay, is that going to work with what I'm going to do? That's the kind of fragrance I get. But for me, it's got a very Middle Eastern styling to it. I don't know why. Perhaps the notes that are in there. But that is Que Tal. Let me know your thoughts on this one. Add a comment below. This next one's super awesome. This is from the house of Epichron. This is Poudre. So this is a sister house to One Day. We featured One Day in regular scent club kits. We did Oolong Tea in a scent club kit. We featured Taipei in a scent club kit. Now we have the sister house Epichron with Poudre. Super awesome scent. Poudre is great. Oh man, it's so awesome. Very powdery. It's lots of orris, heliotrope, carrot, comes off violet-like. There's musk, butter. So good. Very addicting. It also has ambrette and ambroxan, so those of you that are too sensitive to it. But those are the anchors. Those are the base notes, so you need those in there to balance every, note that are up top. But I think most of this is very heart note and base notes heavy. Not much going on with the top notes here, if at all. But super powdery. Like if you love powder, I mean, it's the name, Poudre. Poudre by Epichron. They had a really unique way of packaging their sample. So if you got the mystery box, you would have seen how they packaged it. But it's a great scent. I really love it. So let's move on to another Korean house. This brand was at the show, but as part of Lucky Scent's booth, because they now have, I think, an exclusive deal with Lucky Scent. This is Wild Peach Squeeze, topped with French herbs. It's kind of like an upside down wine glass. Kind of cool, right? So yeah, the brand founder was also at the show. I think he hung out with the Lucky Scent booth where this brand was displayed. And I'm so happy Lucky Scent came on board and brought some unique houses for us to check out at Scentfest SF. But this is Kuoca Wild Peach Squeeze. But I wrote in my notes Wild Peach Squeeze, but it's also topped with French herbs. So the peach in here is very candied and fresh, and also very, very juicy. It's almost like you've got this candy in your mouth, kind of like a hard candy, like a lozenge, and it's big, and you're like spinning it around your mouth and creating all that saliva, and it's juicy, and it's turning in your mouth. That's kind of how I am envisioning this fragrance. Sometimes when I go to like a Japanese restaurant and they put these little hard candies, the Japanese ones that are fruity, this is kind of what it reminds me of. But this is verbena with peach blossom and peaches and mint and a few other notes. Really fun fragrance, really fun brand, I think. And I was so happy that they allowed us to feature this in our latest mystery box. And also they came to the show, which is awesome. Did you guys meet the brand founder? If you were at Scentfest SF, let me know. Add a comment below. All right, we've got 5 more fragrances to talk about. Next one is Akro's Crush. So Akro wanted to feature this one in a kit in a mystery box for the previous mystery box, but they ran out of samples, so they really wanted to get a feature in one of our mystery boxes, and it's here. And I had sort of dismissed this one, but it's grown on me, and how realistic it smells. If you've ever had Pierre Hermé macaroons with the rose, it really reminds me of that. It really does. It's rose, there's almonds, lychee, fruits, pralines, and vanilla. It's a very authentic smell of those rose macaroons that Pierre Hermé in Paris, makes. It's super delicious. There's a buttery effect happening, a kind of doughy and nutty, but fruity and rose as well. It's very realistic, I think. Very cozy too. Who's a fan? So this is one of Akro's latest. It's called Crush. It's also an Extrait de Parfum, so it's longer lasting than its previous fragrances. I think all the Extrait de Parfums are, not see-through glass bottles. So I think, I don't know, maybe that's intentional. But the brand overall, I think, is a kind of brand that you can layer with. Like with this, I could actually boost up the rose with this and intensify the rose. I can layer with it. Or maybe add like a lychee fruit or some kind of a tart fruit in there. Or maybe even vanilla, because you've got room. Or even almonds. Like you could do that with the Akro House. But let me know what your thoughts are on Crush by Akro. Add a comment below. Next, we've got Adamo's Romazzino. Romazzino. What am I saying? Romazzino. This is a fairly recent launch from the house, and a delicious one. It's tea, milk, and pistachios. Green tea, I should say. Super cozy, yummy creation. I like that combination. Milky green tea, which I never do, because there was a time I was having a lot of green tea, but I always felt like it was a weird, like, to mix milk with green tea. It kind of broke the milk down, so I never did it. But the way this is done, it's nicely smooth with the green tea and also the nuttiness of the pistachio. But there's also almonds here. There's balsamic notes, so it's kind of ambery and balsamic. There's citruses. It doesn't feel super overwhelming in the gourmand styling, even though it has the milk note, because sometimes milk is a bit overwhelming, like milky sweet notes could be a bit overwhelming for some folks. This smells fantastic, I think. I like that grassy effect the green tea is providing with the nuttiness of the almonds and the pistachio, of course. Yum. It's a yummy fragrance for those of you that love gourmands that are not super sweet. So that's Romazzino. Next, circling back to the very initial drop of the 3 extracts from d'Orsay. This is Flower Lust, created by Dominique Ropion. That was also featured in our mystery box recently. So I also thought, I think I had dismissed this one. I didn't enjoy it as much when it first launched, but I consider it pretty quality, especially now. I thought it was just a fresh floral fragrance, but it's much more than that. It's quite ambery here. But you've got white flowers like orange blossom. There's ylang ylang here as well. A lot of peppery notes, black pepper, pink pepper, and there's also ambery resinous notes as well. It's just a really nicely done creation by Dominique Ropion. Super intense. There's a lot of pepper. Like, it's quite peppery with the peppery notes. Pink pepper, black pepper, so it acts also a little bit like incense when you're smelling the peppery notes. Really great scent, I think. I still prefer Tonka Hysteria as the trio of fragrances that were launched by the house at once, but don't sleep on this one. It's a floral amber, very, very spicy. So that's Flower Lust by the House of d'Orsay. Check it out. And then the most gourmand of gourmand fragrances that was in the box is this Le Gourmand from Jousset. I mean, this takes me back to my childhood of eating Nutella. It's spreading it on bread and eating it. I mean, it smells bready. It smells nutty, of course. And it's super creamy chocolatey. Wow. There's also a little bit of saltiness. So maybe your bread, or maybe you put it on a cracker and it's got salt on it. It's so authentic. But I just couldn't envision myself opening up the jar of Nutella and taking a spoon or a knife or something and scooping out that Nutella and spreading it on the bread or cracker. That's how authentic this smells. Super, super yum. Oh my God, I can't believe how yummy it is. Anyway, let me know what your thoughts are on Jousset Le Gourmand. I think this is my favorite from the line. I think their most popular is Accident à la Vanille. I think that's the one that's most popular, but I think this is super delicious. What's your thoughts? And last but not least, we've got a new house that's making a debut in the States. This is Anomalia, and it's Karmacoma. That's the last scent in the mystery box. Also, it had that flyer, so you would have opened it and found the flyer. Maybe you didn't get the flyer, but everybody should have gotten the flyer. So this, to me, is sort of like a take on something like Baby Cat or Vanagloria. But to me, since they are done by somebody else, the ingredients don't smell very similar, even though the idea might be similar. So there's vanilla here, there's leather, there's saffron, there's powdery notes, there's paper, there's cedar. It comes off smoother, like it's not as rough as Baby Cat or Vanagloria. There's a smoothness, a refinement about this. But it's so good. This profile is amazing. Really, really awesome. Who's familiar with Karmacoma from Anomalia? It does say concentrate on it. But this is awesome. Really, really great scent. And that's the last fragrance, guys. That's the 14 samples in the latest mystery box. I hope you got your mystery box. And let me know your thoughts on the different samples in the kit, in the mystery box, as I said. Thank you so much for watching today's video, and thank you for being patient with me. I will be going back to regularly scheduled programming after the 10th of this month. I've been quite busy with ScentFest SF. If you missed it, we are coming back with edition 2, definitely in June, most likely towards the end of June. So stay tuned for the announcement on that. It will be bigger and better. It will be, because so many brands came forward and told us we want to participate next year. But I'll tell you all about that in the other video that's strictly on ScentFest SF. But I do want to say we are putting together a ScentFest focused mystery box. Look out for that. Also look out for the latest Scent Club kit, which should drop sometime this month, with 3 fragrances in the kit, in the Scent Club kit. And also look for some additional things that we are launching. There should be some odds and ends boxes dropping as well, with some surprise samples and surprise other items in the odds and ends boxes as well. So look out for those. Thank you so much for watching today's video. I appreciate you tuning in and the support for the channel. Please interact with the video if you can. Give it a like and share it, and that helps with the algorithm. And of course, please don't forget to subscribe and click the bell icon so you'll be notified for future videos. See you guys later. Bye-bye.